I've grown up with with a strong belief that I can control how I feel. To surround myself with a group of people
Hmm.
who I look up to,
Okay.
who know more than me. बाबू मोशाई जिंदगी बड़ी नहीं बढ़िया होनी चाहिए. The best decisions in life are made on the back of intellect, instinct, and intuition. I think you need a coping mechanism to deal
Hmm.
with constant rejection. That success is its own worst enemy. Compounding is the eighth wonder of the world.
Today we have with us Gopal Jain, and Gopal Jain is managing partner and co-founder of Gaj Capital, an India-focused growth and buyout firm based in Mumbai. So Gaj was founded in 2005, and they are a leading player in India's private equity market with an exceptional track record of 20 plus investments and an AUM of over $500 million. And Gaj has invested consistently in India's mid market across themes in education, financial services, and consumer, with a key focus on driving scale and transformation in its portfolio companies via operational value add. So Gopal leads both the executive and investment functions at the firm and has personally led several of the firm's investments. And he has been investing in India's equity since the age of 13 and has been a professional investor in the Indian capital market for almost 30 years. And he's one of the most experienced private equity investors in India, having led or co-led over 25 private equity investments since 1995. And several of the companies that Gopal has backed have grown 10x in value since the investment. And prior to Gaj Capital, he was country head for the Boston based View Group, one of the pioneers in Indian private equity. And Gopal is an active columnist and is currently member of SEBI's Alternative Investment Policy Advisory Committee and Indian Private Equity and Venture Capital Association's Executive Committee. So he has deep interest in the social sector and leads Gaja Gives, which supports a wide and growing number of philanthropic efforts in India. And there's another unique initiative of Gaj Business Book Prize, which aims to encourage entrepreneurship through inspiration. So Gopal is a graduate in electrical engineering from IIT Delhi. We were in the same hostel, and people at campus remember him as one of the first graduates from the institute to turn entrepreneur before graduating. And I remember, him even in college as an independent thinker, creating his own path. So thank you, Gopal, for joining us.
Thank you, Rohan, for having me over. And it's always a pleasure, delight, and a learning experience speaking with you.
And so as we shared that this show is focused on leadership and life lessons through real life stories. So let's start, and tell us a bit about your personal life journeys, because beyond all these accomplishments.
Sure. First of all, the word life itself is important. I've always believed in work-life harmony, uh, not work-life balance, and I'm very fortunate. I've built my life around my loves rather. My love of my country, my love of investing, my love of entrepreneurship. I won the ovarian lottery. Um, I landed the parents that I have, both of whom were educated. Thanks to my father, I grew up in a home full of books. Thanks to my mom, I grew up in a home full of business conversations and investing. She was an investor,
Oh.
even though she was a homemaker. And thanks to the 2,000 rupees that I borrowed from her, I became an investor at an early age. So, so much of my life has been shaped by this ovarian lottery that I won. And my life, my professional life and my personal life are actually two sides of the same coin. As I said, I've tried very hard ever since I've been in a position to make conscious choices to chase things that I really love and to build my life around them.
Mm. Okay, so what would you call as a proud moment or a key milestone as a leader?
Proud is a very big word. It's a very modest word. But I would say my most recent experience as a leader has been through COVID. When COVID arrived as an investor, who manages third-party money, we have so much riding on our shoulders. Uh,
Okay.
we have actually a very large amount of capital invested in our companies. We are ultimately speaking the employer for thousands and thousands of people.
Okay.
And initially when COVID hit, it was actually a very shocking, very fearful moment. But as we look back at COVID, it's turned out to be our busiest year in the last 15 years as at Gaja Capital. We've done 10 transactions. We've made a number of investments. Our portfolio companies have come out well. And I think it's because of many choices that we made. In fact, COVID was like, life condensed into a 3-hour movie, right?
Mhm.
There were choices to be made literally every moment, every day, every week. And I think those series of choices, at least so far, COVID isn't over. But I feel that as we look back, we've done a decent job in terms of navigating this uncertainty.
Hmm. Okay. And what you always say that you see the tree and the fruits and the success, etc. But the core is soil in the root. So can you throw some light on in your life? Describe the soil and the root.
Well, again, I'll go back to my family, and like I said, I'm part of the Lucky Sperm Club. Uh, you know, my uh, my parents, my brother, my two sisters, my friends, my partners, they've shaped my life. They are really the substrate that you're referring to.
Hmm.
And in terms of the narratives that constantly run through my mind, one is right here in front of me, which is Gandhiji said, "Be the change that you want to see in the world."
Hmm.
That's a narrative that constantly runs. It's not easy being the change that you want to see. It's very easy to be prescriptive, and it's always a challenge to be the
Hmm.
change that you want to see in others. I'm a big, I'm an avid reader of history. We've shared this
Okay.
earlier, Rohan.
Yeah.
And one of the patterns that I see in history is actually there is no pattern to history other than one pattern, according to me, which is that from time to time there have been human beings or groups of human beings who have, take shaped those decisive turns in human history.
Hmm.
I call it the tip of the spear phenomenon.
Okay.
Right?
Tip of the spear. Hmm.
Tip of the
Spear.
spear.
Spear. Okay.
We discussed this earlier.
Yeah.
And so it's my ambition always that in every situation to try and be the tip of the spear,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
Uh, in every situation to at least be available that there is no one between me and a challenge and a crisis.
So tip of the spear is that the thing, the area which hits whatever is on the side, direct.
So
Hmm.
that maybe that actually from time to time, whether it's friends or if I can be in a situation where I can lead formation, creation, crisis resolution.
Hmm.
The other narrative in my mind, I wake up every day to a thought that today is the first day of the rest of my life.
Okay.
And I think from an early time in my life, very early time in my life, I've grown up with a strong belief that I can control how I feel.
I can control how I feel. Yes.
That the world doesn't decide how I feel. I
Hmm.
can control how I feel.
That is the fundamental choice, I think. So, what would you say would be some of your core values in the philosophy with which you lead your life? And where did they get built? One is your, parents' background and how you brought up. Anything else in that?
Well, I think some of the things that I've shared with you are core to my life.
Hmm.
Right? And how do they get built? I don't think they get just built once.
Yes.
I think what's important for us is to build a mechanism through which we can constantly strengthen our values and constantly learn new leadership philosophy.
Hmm.
So, I'm fascinated by this concept of Saptarishi, that,
Okay.
that even the gods had a set of gurus, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And For me, my coping mechanism towards radical uncertainty, towards value building, towards leadership is, to surround myself with a group of people
Hmm.
who I look up to,
Okay.
who know more than me. The other day, my younger daughter was asking me, "Who is a guru?"
Hmm.
And I said, "A guru is a person from whom you can learn more than he can learn from you."
Okay.
And I think my life has consciously, I think, been enriched since we built this mechanism. So I've built such a mechanism at Gaja Capital,
Hmm.
board of people, which in fact includes one of my earliest gurus,
Okay.
who's on that board, and the new gurus that I constantly try and find. So I do spend a part of my time in my life seeking new gurus.
Okay. So let me take you back to your childhood. What would you consider as your biggest childhood challenge?
Ron, my perspective on life has completely changed as I've grown up.
Okay.
When I was growing up, like every child, I was always thinking about the things I didn't have.
Okay.
But as I look back on my life, I feel I led a very privileged life. As I've gotten to know more about India, Indian society, other people, their struggles, I feel I led a very privileged life. Educated parents, English speaking, born in Bombay, grew up in the Bombay of the 70s. Look at my pin code.
Hmm.
So various aspects of life. So really, I think it will be an injustice to whoever chose that I be born to my parents to talk about challenges in my childhood.
Hmm.
Um, in fact, the biggest challenge in my childhood was making choices. We were
Okay.
so privileged that we had so many choices,
Hmm.
and growing up as meant making choices, and making those choices were first painful. So what I'm trying to say is that we all have our struggles in our childhood, but really I think perspective is important. I don't spend my time anymore thinking about my childhood challenges because I think of that as a time of privilege. Uh,
Hmm.
and it helps me focus on the struggles and challenges around me.
Hmm. 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 And so, what would you call as one or two events which shaped your personality? Any situation or event which made Gopal who Gopal is?
Well, the psychologists say that you become who you are pretty much by the age of 8.
Okay.
And the reality is that we don't remember most of that, right?
Hmm.
Your memories start forming between the ages of 4 and 5.
Hmm.
But in the sense that you mean the question, I think the most important shaping events of my life have been my earlier entrepreneurial innings.
Okay.
That is my fourth entrepreneurial innings. There
Okay.
was one entrepreneurial innings on campus, which ended in failure. Then there was a second one in the 90s, which was initially a huge success, then ended in failure.
Mm-hmm.
There was a third one, which was the View Group, which could have been a far bigger success than what it was.
Hmm.
And I think three entrepreneurial innings, and my partners in there, the choices I made, these have been the most important shaping events of my grown-up life.
Hmm. So I have two questions. First is what inspired you to be an entrepreneur right even before you passed out from IIT? What was going in your head? What was driving you? Because most of us were looking for schools or jobs or MBAs. Those are the three routes. You took the fourth one or you created your own. What was going on in your head?
Uh, in those days, I was obsessed with the idea of becoming big, bada.
Okay. Hmm.
So, when we met in IIT, I was pursuing that huge desire and ambition to to lead a larger than
Okay.
life. So to be big. I mean, I remember, in fact, one of my questions when we were ragged, and they said, what do you want to be?
Hmm.
And I think the usual question was, I want to go to this university. The usual
Yeah.
answer was that I want to go
Hmm.
to this university, or I want a job in Hindustan Lever or Citibank. And my answer was more about, I want to be a certain kind of an entrepreneur. And
Hmm.
really, I remember my senior, he kind of almost fell off the chair. He's like, "You come to IIT for this?"
Hmm.
I said,
Hmm.
"I've come to IIT for this. I mean, how does it matter?"
Hmm.
So I think it has changed. I think a turning point for me in life. Of course, I think dreaming big is not uh, is precious. It's important. It's powerful. But how life has changed, and that was a turning point in life when you start thinking about badiya rather than bada,
I remember.
right?
You had that dialogue, your favorite dialogue.
Yes, कि बाबू मोशाय जिंदगी लंबी नहीं बड़ी होनी चाहिए, and I have a take on that, that बाबू मोशाय जिंदगी बड़ी नहीं बढ़िया होनी चाहिए. So I think life, what sustains life is the pursuit of excellence. I've seen success closely. I've been fortunate to see success very closely and successful people very closely, and I've seen the hollowness in their eyes when they achieve, their so-called goals. But what sustains life is the pursuit of excellence.
So now another question was that you had one entrepreneurship venture right from IIT, another one, and you said first two of them were kind, you failed in some way in them.
First,
What? Huh,
first three.
first, yeah. So what kept you going in the sense? What was your driving force that time? And what was going on that time when you look from hindsight, look now, it would be easier, but what was going on that time? What was the narrative that time?
Well, I think the third failure was tough.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what kept me, what made me again kind of pick up my, rediscover, if I can say, my mojo about being an entrepreneur. I was seriously tempted to throw in, the bag, so as to say, and uh, become a professional. It was very
Okay.
tempting. With the skills I had, private equity was a sunrise industry, and I could have joined any firm around the world that I could have. And I was dejected. I think I discovered purpose, or at least I discovered a mechanism to consciously articulate my purpose. And I
Mm-hmm.
discovered, we always think we have a purpose, but it's important to consciously discover it. So what was behind, I've been a part of an organization called Leaders Quest now for nearly 20 years.
Okay.
Leaders Quest is about inspired leadership, about purposeful leadership, founded by a dear friend of mine, a superwoman called Lindsay Levin. And I think it was a coincidence that I became a part of Leaders Quest, and it gave me an opportunity to articulate my purpose in life. Just ask myself, what is my purpose? And I ended up describing again a very huge purpose, about making an impact, contributing to India's prosperity and happiness. And frankly, I don't think it was clear to me that going back and becoming an entrepreneur again uh, was the only way that I could make a meaningful attempt at realizing my purpose.
Yeah. So I think so that has been that can be one very useful even advice to all the people who are watching it, is that when you have a tough time, then center yourself connecting to your purpose, even if you have not full clarity, but maybe looking for a purpose is a better way to look for rather than anything else in tough times. And so
Another turning point for me, similar to purpose, around the same time, is meeting my wife.
Okay.
So many things in my life happened at the same time. Uh, Gaja Capital, finding purpose, finding Chitra. Uh, you know, uh, Growing up, I used to love this book called The Godfather,
Okay.
and and there is something in The Godfather called the Thunderbolt moment.
Okay.
So, and I can never forget the first time I saw my wife, and that was my Thunderbolt moment. And she and I have been a part of each other's life for 17 years. So a number of things came together around 2004,
Hmm.
uh, which was the turning point in my life. Purpose, Chitra, Gaja Capital.
Okay. And so what did you notice, if you maybe if you can tell a little about when you met your wife, what happened in the sense
This is what I mean. The concept of Thunderbolt is something that you don't understand.
huh,
It's not a, it's,
but it
you know,
strikes you.
yeah, love is not about just, see, there are three levels, right? I believe there is intelligence, intellect, there is instinct, and there is intuition.
Hmm.
And as human beings, we have I think we are. I'm this. This may sound like too much philosophy, but really the best decisions in life are made on the back of intellect, instinct, and intuition,
Yes.
right? So a thunderbolt moment is when all these three kind of line up together,
Huh,
right?
huh, huh.
And but so and it's more about instinct and intuition than it's about intellect.
So it doesn't make sense, and yet it makes sense at core.
Absolutely, you can hear it. It's like it's a it's a flash of white light, and it's a loud sound that goes off in your ears.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes, that was the moment when I met Chitra.
So would you be able to describe to us any, the biggest failure, setback, or rejection that you turned around in life? Anything which stands out, one or two?
As an entrepreneur, Rohan, you're constantly faced with
Correct.
rejection,
Yeah.
constantly faced with rejection. So it's not one rejection or one failure. I think you need a coping mechanism to deal with constant rejection.
Okay.
In my, I've had rejection. I had rejection day before yesterday, for example, right? Because as an entrepreneur, and you are the chief revenue officer for your company. You're the chief sales officer, no matter what you call yourself. So I think what's key is to have a coping mechanism with rejection. And again, I'll go back to the sense of purpose. I think केंद्र बिंदु कहते हैं ना वो
Yeah.
कि what keeps you tethered in life. What has helped me is that sense of purpose, that listen, we can make an impact. We can make a very large impact. I know it might sound like vanity, but it need not be vanity, right? And for me, the impact on my country was very important. Towards prosperity and happiness was important. And of course, the world will live without us and will continue living without us. But human beings can make an impact. They can make an impact on their near and dear ones, on their friends, on their society, on their nation. You can choose the circle around which you want to make an impact. So I think that wo kendra bindu jo hai, is what is the coping mechanism I personally have as an entrepreneur when it comes to rejection and failure, which is part of the course, which is part of a course for every entrepreneur.
So I would like you to throw a little more light on, the coping mechanism. What one you said about the Saptrishi is an external coping mechanism, and internal coping mechanism is the Kendra Bindu, which is the purpose and deciding what level of impact circle you want to have. Is there anything else which would you describe in part of your core coping mechanism to handle all adversities and turbulences?
I think
please do.
Maybe more will come out, but coping mechanism with respect to radical uncertainty is जो मैंने बताया Saptrishi concept. And coping mechanism with respect to rejection and failure is sense of purpose.
Okay. So what would you call as, or what would you describe as one of the most difficult conflict you faced, and how did you tackle it?
Again, given the nature of my work, conflict is at the center of my work. So private equity is all about partnerships. And partnership and conflict go hand in hand, right? So A, conflict, and B, conflict resolution are at the center of my life. One of the key conflicts in my life as at Gaja Capital is, for example, the conflict between my various sets of customers. So I have 3 sets of customers, but let's talk about 2 of them. One is my investors, and the other is my entrepreneurs. And sometimes there are choices to be made that investors के बारे में सोचें या entrepreneurs के बारे में सोचें. And the way we have tried to deal with this conflict is by being both. So today we are one of the larger investors in our own fund.
Okay.
This is unusual in India. So we are not just an agent, we are an investor ourselves. तो हमने अपने आप को investors के साथ align कर लिया है. And we are also entrepreneurs. So we can think like entrepreneurs. So the way this central conflict in our professional journey, which is the conflict, and this for every organization, this conflict takes on a different role. But there is a certain conflict between the impact on society and the impact for shareholders, the return to society and the return to shareholders. और ये conflict handle करने के लिए दोनों बनना जरूरी है. हम दोनों बन गए हैं, entrepreneur भी हैं और हम investor भी हैं. So हम जब decisions लेते हैं और कभी सही लेते हैं, कभी गलत लेते हैं, but nobody can question our motives.
So see, I remember when I was interviewing you for my book, you also talked about a lot about the partnership, as you shared, the peer level partnership. See, most of the time, either you have people reporting to you or you are reporting to someone. But in your case, I think you got a lot of experience with respect to managing partnerships. So anything you want to talk about or share any experience?
No, certainly. I mean, lots of experiences. But like I said, one of the recurring dilemmas in my life. One of the recurring dilemmas in my life is that success is its own worst enemy.
Okay.
So सारी दुनिया success के पीछे भागती रहती है. But actually, human beings are at their worst often after they are successful.
How?
Because the real test of character is not failure, it's not adversity, it is success and prosperity.
Okay.
And so a constant theme, this is the constant dilemma in my life, that success is its own worst enemy. And I have seen how people change with success. And again, I think some people manage to cope with it. So because the protagonist I typically meet is someone who wants to be someone else. There is a protagonist who's at some place, but he or she wants to be someone else. And so when they get there, they need a coping mechanism to deal with their success. And actually, in order to remain successful in life, you need a coping mechanism to deal with success.
So this is a very
because actually human beings are programmed by nature, to deal with adversity. We are not programmed by nature to deal with success and prosperity.
So what is your coping mechanisms for dealing with success and prosperity?
You can see that at least in one respect, I'm not doing a good job. I mean, look at the amount of weight I've accumulated. But perspective, I think experience. Again, you have to surround yourself with people who know more than you. ये जो coping mechanism सप्तऋषि वाले मैंने बताया था, वो यहाँ पे भी work करता है. That if you are surrounded by people who know more than you, have been successful, and who can help you again recalibrate your fresh goals in life, right? So that and we are not talking of something which is not possible. We've seen both kinds of people, right? People who become successful and go on to become more successful. But a larger number of people who encounter some level of success and then are not so successful. And it's not just about financial success, it's also their behavior.
Whether you want to be with them or not. So what would you say?
Like, for example, Hindustan में वो serial बना है ना, जिसके लिए India थोड़ा famous हो गया, वो Bad Boy Billionaires, right? So वो भी एक example है, right? कि how a little bit of success can actually sometimes completely set people off kilter. So a coping mechanism to handle success बहुत जरूरी है, because compounding is the eighth wonder of the world. And to remain successful after becoming successful means conquering your inner demons. हम सब में एक राक्षस बनने की जो tendency है ना, that Ravan complex.
Hmm.
You know, Ravan kaun tha? Ravan was a successful person.
Yeah, very intelligent, intellectual,
Very intelligent.
very
It's a great
accomplished.
story. It's a great story for every protagonist. कि वो जब वो सक्सेसफुल इतना नहीं था तो वो he was a वो ऋषियों में ऋषि था, ज्ञानियों में ज्ञानी था, योद्धाओं में योद्धा था, you know, he was पुरुषोत्तम था. और जब उसमें वो सारी शक्तियां आ गई तो वो राक्षस बन गया.
That is an interesting story, very aligned to what you are saying.
जब उसके पास में जो है कुबेर से ज्यादा वैभव आ गया और भगवान से ज्यादा शक्ति आ गई तो फिर वो राक्षस बन गया. ये तो मैं सारे टाइम अपने आसपास देखता रहता हूँ. ये राक्षस प्रवृत्ति तो मैं सारे all the time I'm seeing it, and some people are able to get over it. I think some people are able to cope with success and continue on their path towards greater success. But you know, success being its own enemy is one of the constant recurring dilemmas that I see in my journey.
So see, there are some I've read somewhere where people say that the success and more money makes you more of who you are.
Yeah, you want to see what a person really is. As someone said, give him power. अगर आप किसी इंसान का असल चरित्र देखना चाहते हैं तो उन्हें शक्ति दो.
And the other thing was, some people say, you know, this too shall pass, whether in case of crisis or in case of success. How does that apply in your philosophy?
सुख, you know, दुख में सुमिरन सब करें, सुख में करे न कोई. तो जब दुख होता है तो लोग बहुत आसानी से कह देते हैं कि this too shall pass, पर सुख में नहीं कह पाते. So one of my enduring memories was the tomb of Alauddin Khalji. बचपन में मैं गया था देखने के लिए और बहुत बुरी हालत में थी वो टूम. तो और हिस्ट्री में मेरा इंटरेस्ट है तो मुझे ये भी मालूम है कि अलाउद्दीन खिलजी ने क्या क्या किया है.
And he accumulated a lot of wealth various ways.
तो ये कोपिंग मैकेनिज्म विद सक्सेस बहुत जरूरी है. अब देखो लोग अकबर को याद करते हैं, राइट, पर और वो तो इनफैक्ट ही वाज अनपढ़ था वो.
Okay.
He was an illiterate, but he surrounded himself with the Saptarishis. उसके जो नवरत्न थे, concept of Saptarishis, right? He surrounded himself with people who were masters and gurus, and he knew exactly who to go to every time he had a question.
And no one would remember him as unpad. I didn't even know that.
काला अक्षर भैंस बराबर था उसके लिए.
Very interesting. So
you know, he was wandering around when he was growing up. If you read about Akbar, 15 या 16 साल की उम्र में तो वो emperor बन गए थे. और उससे पहले जो उनकी जिंदगी थी, it was a life of struggle because right, Humayun had lost his emperor, his empire.
Okay.
तो कुछ पढ़ाई का तो स्कोप नहीं था ना, जो कि आमतौर पे एक मिलता है, जो एजुकेशन मिलती है. When he became emperor, he had this insatiable desire for knowledge. But more than that, he knew he was a very good warrior. But he knew कि मुझे कुछ चीजें नहीं आती. I'm the emperor of India, richest nation on the richest country or the richest region in the world. मेरे पास दुनिया से कहीं ज्यादा जो है दौलत है, पर मेरे पास जरूरी नहीं है कि दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा knowledge.
So he sustained his success with the knowledge rather than, you know, depleting it, which maybe others did later. Very interesting analogy. I think this could be very useful for many people who are connected with this history. Okay, so let's come to any activity, hobby, or any unusual thing which you love in all these years.
This is a question that should be directed to Chitra, my wife. I'm sure she'll give you a long list of unusual interests or hobbies. So, okay, let me think of something unusual. What's unusual? I'm a bit of a Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
So I always try and complete the missing picture. So I love triangulating. I love connecting dots, and I'm telling you, it can be a destructive hobby. So trying to see things which I haven't seen. तो बहुत मजा आता है मुझे इसमें, and it's very and it can be very irritating to other people.
No, I think, but it stems from curiosity, I think.
But you know what it happens? What happens is that घर पे खासकर I have this
I know.
habit of completing other people's sentences.
Hmm,
बहुत लोगों को बहुत irritation होती है.
hmm,
You know, do you know what I'm about to say, or do I know what I'm about to say? अब बाहर तो मैं control कर लेता हूँ. You know, I'm trying to be like proper and so yeah, I think that's a little. I don't know whether to call it unusual, but this I love this. I love playing Sherlock Holmes. कि मुझे कहानी का अंत मत बताओ. Let me try and predict,
yeah,
or you know, or don't show me the whole picture. Let me try and guess the missing part.
So no, I know I call Ruchi my wife Sherlock Holmes actually, and a lot of time I now once I've understood it, I will give her some clues and not the answer, and leave it there till she finds one. So I know how it feels on the other side. And so any ritual that you have followed over the years that has helped you, kept you going?
Yeah, I think actually when I go back to that time, that phase around my the end of my third entrepreneurial innings, I also discovered a belief in God and divinity.
Okay.
You know, and as a student of science, as a rationalist, for some people who are listening to this, you know, they may not relate to this. There is a difference between God and religion.
Mm, mm, mm,
So, and I'm not referring to religion. I'm referring to God.
mm,
Religion is the institution that is built around God.
mm, mm,
And various people have built various institutions. You may or may not subscribe to that institution. So I think I won't call it ritual, but I think praying to God uh, has been a part of my life for the last many years. Yeah, and I do it wherever I am, and you know even if I'm getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, or this is very personal. ऐसी कोई ये
mm,
बड़ी बात है छोटी बात है नहीं कहूँगा. But that
mm,
is what has kept me going many times.
mm,
Many times I have stood in my prayers asking what is, there's so many wonderful conversations that happen with me with I that go on in my mind at that moment.
I believe
After
probably.
rejection, after success,
Yeah.
especially after rejection.
No, I believe that probably what you are doing is equivalent to tapping into the universal force in some sense. And you when you're praying, you're connecting it, and when you're connecting it every day, someone taught me that you strengthen those neural networks. तो वो वाली पगडंडी रोड बन जाती है. सो जब रोड बन जाती है तो ट्रैफिक ट्रांसमिशन बहुत इजी भी हो जाता है. यू कैन सेंड योर क्वेश्चंस एंड आंसर्स आल्सो शो अप. But so that I think that is what I am taking from this ritual, what you're saying is
I think the cosmos is on some path.
yeah.
So it may be a random walk, it may be whatever, but when we look back, there seems to be some path to the cosmos. Going forward, हम predict नहीं कर सकते. So I think what prayer allows you to do is to ask yourself that are you on the right side of it?
Yes.
कि जो भी आप कर रहे हैं, that puts you on the right side of that path or on the wrong side of that path.
Very
So I think this has also been helpful for me.
I think this is also a deeper layer of the coping mechanism, I would say. Beyond all that which you shared, I think probably this is at the foundation. And so what are you now looking forward in life, and what is driving you now?
I'm really excited. I'm really excited because, as a nation, we missed our tryst with destiny.
Mhm.
And I believe that technology has given us a third chance.
Third chance.
Third,
Okay. So
so
what the first and second according to you?
first and second first was between 1947 and 1991. So this was the missed tryst with destiny that we used to blame our parents for. कि
Okay.
आपके चक्कर में हिंदुस्तान ने कुछ नहीं किया.
Okay.
देखो जापान कहाँ पहुंच गया और कोरिया कहाँ पहुंच गया.
हाँ.
फिर दूसरा हमारी जनरेशन में मिस किया.
Hmm.
1991 से 2021 तक, एंड एक चाइना कहाँ से कहाँ पहुंच गया और हम देखिए अभी तक अपनी मिस्ड ट्रिस्ट विद डेस्टिनी के साथ उलझे हुए. अब हमारे बच्चों का समय. So my elder daughter is 13 years old, my younger one is 9 years old, Srishti and Ira, or I'm turning 50 this year. So the question is, by the time they turn 50, will we have
Met the.
met the tryst with destiny? And I feel so. I feel so. Of course, I hope so, but I still believe so that technology has given India a third chance at meeting with, at completing the tryst with destiny.
So hope, believe, and have playing an active role in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope so, that I can continue to play an active role for the next many years.
Okay. And so final question is, what advice would you give to a smart driven leader watching this video, or an entrepreneur or a leader in making?
So when I was a young leader, I had no time for advice. And maybe that's where I should start. बहुत मुश्किल है, but I think what smart young leaders, what I've seen other people who are successful do is again build up this coping mechanism. The coping mechanism to foster and to sustain success बहुत important है. Find people who know more than you and surround yourself with them. I think पहली तो advice, it's an action. It's not a way of thinking. करो ये. एक, दो, तीन, वो कौन से लोग हैं? You know, Rohan, you will agree with me that to find a question to which you don't have an answer, maybe एक achievement है life.
Yeah.
Right? As you think about your own progress, for the longest time in life, we had difficulty asking questions, right? So ये भी एक coming of age moment है to find questions to which you don't have answers. So पहला तो ये advice दूंगा. दूसरा मैं बोलूंगा कि the second thing I would say is that there's a difference between risk taking and institution building.
Risk taking and institutional building.
Yes. So as an entrepreneur, there's a difference between risk taking and institution building. Very important to recognize that, and that is more about beneath us. So एक तो हमारे ऊपर जो हम बनाते हैं coping mechanism, और हमारे नीचे भी एक institutionalization करना बहुत जरूरी है. To say, because risk taking sometimes comes naturally to entrepreneurs. Even to India, where inherently people are entrepreneurial, risk taking comes naturally. But institution building, के लिए we need to invest for today, for tomorrow. To think about how success will be repeated beyond us. What are those mechanisms that help guard conflicts or to resolve conflict? So this is the second thought on my mind. And the third thought, is that chase customers, not investors. Investors come and go. Financial markets are sometimes very buoyant, sometimes they are not, but customers are permanent. So build businesses on the back of customers, not investors. Going beyond business, I think 700 crore log hain is the dharti pe, right? 7 billion people. I think we need more people who are thinking about impacting the lives of a billion as opposed to making a billion. बहुत लोग हैं दुनिया में now who want to make a billion or who have made a billion.
Yeah.
कमी है उन लोगों की who can impact a billion.
I think this whole entire sharing would be very useful. I have learned a lot as I am listening and talking to you, and I think the whole compounding eighth wonder, as well as purpose as your Kendra Bindu, Saptrishi, even the story of Akbar, so all of this will go in a long way for all the audience of this channel. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rohan. Always, as always, this is another conversation which has been delightful, and B, again, baat karte karte, even I feel, my own, I've enjoyed it and I've gained something. I've gained a lot.
Thank you.